The 1922 Bentley was my first project. It's trying my patience and everybody else's, I think. So, I'll be nice. Okay. It's got some issues with coolant leaking out of the block. Today I've been in there, cleaned it up, and basically put some Lysol on there to seal it up on the two oil return tubes that go through the coolant system. So I'm just getting a couple of studs out of there that I've snapped off, and I've already cut the gaskets for the side covers, and that's going to go back together. I think the car was probably restored in 1965, which gave me a sort of a almost 60-year window to work with here. To date, it's the only Bentley that's ever raced in the Indy 500. And on my first lap around our little circuit here, the drive shaft joint, which is known as a rag joint, sort of disintegrated. So this is the joint area right here, and the new piece, which will probably be rubber, and that's commonly known as a donut, will go between these two flanges here. So I'm currently moving the gearbox around to align these flanges perfectly. We did have a visit from a Bentley owner the same year, and he provided us with some really good information.
Here there's this distortion, and if you look under, there's this massive brace that's right here that was welded in. So something happened to this car, and it was pretty epic, and it would have happened in period, because afterwards, I mean, in the late 30s, 40s, the car wasn't worth anything, so they would have thrown it out. This car was actually renumbered. You see there, it says 42, and here it says 94. There the car is at the TT, or chassis 42. We think this is the car after it came back from Indianapolis, when it was converted to this single-seater, winning 100 miles an hour short handicap at Brooklyn's June 1923 at an average speed of 97.5 miles an hour. It's definitely got a tale to tell.
The original street car came with an electric starter motor, so we did manage to find one. So we fitted it, and it worked just fine. It was a pretty monster motor, so it was nice not to have to hand crank it. Well, first off, I wore a leather cap, just like they did back in the day. So, how did I look?
Oh, you look top here. Yeah.
Okay. Back then, in that particular car, the brake pedal is on the right, the throttle pedal is in the center, and the clutch pedal is on the left. And I could barely drive that thing. I could barely shift it for the life of me. I kept hitting the throttle instead of rather the clutch, and then when I was putting my foot on, going for the brake, it hit the throttle, so it was a bit ugly. But that engine has a lot of torque, and when you touch the throttle, it wanted to get up and go. I can't imagine what it must have been like in those days. It must have been such a thrill back in the day with no belts, and I believe this particular car at the time struggled to make the qualifying speed, which I believe was around 85 miles an hour, and they drove it for God knows how long to finish the race. So.